This video is not for whales and dolphins. It's for you, because you are just like me. Average Like Gamer here, and today I want to ask a question. And that question is Miyabi Zenless Zero's first must-pull character? And I think that the answer is more complex than a yes or no. The more I use Miyabi, the more I see how insanely strong she is in comparison to other characters. And as we move forward with Zenless Zero, I am hopeful that Miyabi is our new established ceiling for characters in terms of power, remembering that she is our first Void Hunter and is meant to be incredibly powerful within the story of the game. And hopefully new characters aren't as strong. If they are, for less lore important characters, this could be signs of rampant power creep and end up being very bad for Zenless Zero in the long run. But for where we are now, if Miyabi is the ceiling for how strong characters can be for the next year or so at the very top end, then I think we're okay. And this is where we get to the big but though. No, not that but. But if that is true, that Miyabi is as strong as they are willing to make characters who are incredibly important to the lore of their world, then most players should try to pull for Miyabi before she goes. Why? Well, we don't have another Void Hunter on the horizon. My guess would be in patch 2.0 at the earliest, which means that upcoming damage-dealing characters like Evelyn should be a tier below Miyabi. If not, then again, we definitely need to open up that power creep conversation, but provided that Evelyn has a similar power level to, for example, Jujuan, potentially slightly stronger to justify the upgrade from a 1.0 unit, then we should be okay. I guess what this means though, and where this video is going, is that as I know that most of my audience is low spend and free to play players, getting Miyabi now feels to me like the smart choice, because it means that one of your teams is just done. Because right now you can literally stick Miyabi with pretty much anyone and have a decent team moving forwards. And you can look to pick up Yanagi on a rerun or get Lycan when you get to 300 pulls to give us some more options. And those aren't the only options, just an example. And it depends on how your account currently looks as to what will be the best choice in a few months' time. But I really feel that picking up Miyabi is the right play for almost every player. And yeah, that's right, I remembered how to pronounce Lycan. It's easy. I just remembered it's the same as like and subscribe to support creators like me on YouTube. It's really appreciated. And if you want to check out streams, you can drop me a follow over on Twitch. My schedule is there, and I'm hoping to increase it in 2025. And if you want to join a growing community full of helpful Zenless Zero players, then you can join my Discord community. And I also want to say thank you all so much for the support. But back on topic, I struggled with this video and this script because I don't want to say that a character is a must pull. And I always try and balance the pros and cons of getting characters when I talk about character value. But in this case, considering the strength of Miyabi, I think almost all players should at least attempt to pull for her. And I'm not going to say definitively that Miyabi is a must pull because I don't believe any character can be a must pull. It's a video game at the end of the day. It's meant to be fun, and if Miyabi isn't fun to you, then don't pull. However, I do think that she's as close to a must pull as we can get. She hits like an absolute truck with the highest multipliers in the game, and her skill floor is super low. She's very easy to use. So for low spend and free to play players, pulling her now should free up polychromes later, because you will not need to upgrade all of your teams, because at least one team will be able to get on Miyabi's back and get carried by the absolute GOAT. And I do also think that the setup for this patch with Miyabi running for a total of 35 days alongside another character that is being given away for free instead of the normal 20-ish days does feel like Hoyo are shoving Miyabi down our throats a little bit. And I do understand the contrarian drive to say, oh, piss off, and just save for the whole patch, because it does feel like she's being pushed, not just from the timeline that I mentioned, but also we've had probably our biggest event yet with the Melano event in 1.4, and throughout the entirety of it, you can play with a trial version of Miyabi even if you don't have her, which does show some confidence from Hoyo that they think her playstyle and power will win over some players that are on the fence too. We also had a new endgame mode added recently in Deadly Assault where Miyabi can basically trivialize one of the floors. Here I am beating it with Miyabi and just one other character instead of a full team, and this is both me playing, who is not great at the game, and I'll be honest, I was totally kicked back and making loads of mistakes. And there's part of me that thinks that we shouldn't really be celebrating that, because it took me a few attempts to S-rank the last floor with my budget Jujuan team, and yet Miyabi is absolutely destroying while Yanagi just gets her stacks of Fallen Frost back faster. It's borderline unfair how good Miyabi is. Which brings it back to the point. You should pull for Miyabi. Even if you're new to the game, or maybe you spent every last polychrome to get lighter on the last patch, and you think you'll only get enough polychrome in this patch to take the 50/50, you should take that 50/50 and thank me later. Unless I'm wrong, of course, and Miyabi is the start of rampant power creep in Zenless Zone Zero, which I doubt because it would be a really short-sighted of Hoyoverse if that were to happen, and a really bad sign for the future of the game. Power creep in live games, gachas in particular, is a necessary evil because it keeps players playing and interested in future characters, but it can't be so over the top that it invalidates previous S-rank characters, because of two reasons. If it invalidates previous characters, then they can't make money from reruns, and also the player base will be pissed that they can't play their favorite character, and they don't want players to be annoyed at their game, because it means that then they are more likely to drop it. Now, I'd like to mention that you are of course free to completely ignore everything I've said in this video if you don't agree, particularly if your overriding feelings on the matter are waifu over meta, and you really want both Astra and Evelyn. And in that case, you are right, and you should do what you think will help you to enjoy the game. It's just an opinion, and we can have a friendly debate about it in the comments below. My thoughts, however, are that I think getting Miyabi can set you up for an easier experience as we move forward, because it might mean that you can skip one or two characters because Miyabi is comfortable just brute forcing so much of the content, ultimately meaning that you are able to save more polychrome because you have one character that just doesn't even need that much support. Even at M0, try Miyabi against ice-resistant enemies and she still utterly crushes them. And on that note, I should say that if you are running low on polychromes or you're new to the game, you should not feel the need to spend in order to guarantee Miyabi. Of course, you can clear the content without her, she is not a necessity, and again, this is why I would never say that a character is a must pull, because I don't want to increase that fear of missing out. It just isn't helpful for people who might feel like they need to spend money. You don't, you will be fine. Adding on to that though, when we get to the next Void Hunter, they may not have the same availability timeframe that Miyabi has in patch 1.4, they may not run for 35 days, and we may return to a normal half and half patch, which does mean that your best possibility right now to guarantee a Void Hunter if you want her is right now. There's an old-fashioned expression that springs to mind. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush, which essentially means that what you already have available to you is worth more than what might be available in the future. And you can interpret that how you like, but yeah, if a new player asks me if they should be putting all their polychrome into Miyabi before the end of her banner, or waiting for Astra/Evelyn, I would say that if you have no waifu preference, then yeah, you should be trying to pull a Miyabi before the end of her banner, unless you really don't enjoy her gameplay. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested, another video of mine should pop up now. I'm off now to continue my Miyabi's training arc. I'm finally gonna F her, not like that. Anyway, remember to like and subscribe for better average luck on all your pulls. Stay weird, pull responsibly. Bye, 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 bye.